A little early. Hello. A little early. That's good. It's okay. I just sit here and wait. Matter of fact, I can show off the gnomes. See that? I got that gnome from Fireball Fred. Yeah. Uh, this is the gnome that he's hanging out with. Cleveland Brown. If you notice, they both. Yeah. Okay. Just killing time until 2 o'clock when I will start my live stream. Like I clicked in a little early, still got like 4 minutes. So when I'm sitting here with these extra minutes to kill, I'm gonna recap some stuff that I went over and talk about something else while I'm waiting to get the. I always like to talk about conspiracy theories. Let's make great conversation. And when I used to go out to the places and hang out at it was just regular bars. We used to sit in there. We used to play games and talk and stuff. I always talked about aliens and UFO, which is aliens and the aliens abduction. And hey, that Bullfrog. Hey, crazed family homestead. Wow. Okay, that's a good one. Hey, Canadian cabin girl. Wow. Okay. Hey, homestead Aquarius. All right. Yeah. No, I was just killing time until I actually started, and I can get started now. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about movies. Because since this even before the pandemic happened, I always have movie night, movie weekend sometimes with the family and the wife, and we always have movies like we do around Christmas time. We get all these Christmas movies we watch at Christmas time. We watch the same movie. We start off with Dutch and Die Hard and Home Alone and so I'm a big movie fan and movie buff, and so I always like to watch movies. So today I want to talk about some of the movies and TV shows that I've been watching, that I have watched, because like I say, hey, at my age, I don't really go do too much since the pandemic, or whatever they call it out here, the virus thing that took over the world. It didn't just take over the United States. It didn't just take over my county or anything. It took over the world. And, I don't want to talk too much about that because if I do videos, just like if you talk about the buffer. See, so I'm not going to talk about that. So YouTube, you can stop watching me. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm gonna make a video and talk about the deep state, what I believe happened. And that's, they made that here in Cleveland and they do tours. Matter of fact, Christmas Story House, because he's not that far from there. He's on the west side, and it's not that far from here. I could actually, if I rode a bike, I could ride a bike there, but I can't walk there. Hey, healthy homestead chick. Have our set Christmas movies we watch? We tons of them. So many of them now. Between watching the Lifetime movies, Christmas and the Hallmark movie Christmases, like the movies they had, I just don't have. So anyway, I want to discuss and get into this because I don't make real long. Last two that I went over an hour. Okay, but I did want to send this out to Fireball Fred. If he's watching, look who's here. That's the gnome that I won. He's here. Yeah, he's here, and he's hanging out with the gnome that I have for the Cleveland Browns. Go Browns! All right, that's for Fireball Fred if he happen to show up or if you happen to see him later. So anyway, let me get into the video. It's done. I started this 2 o'clock now. There's so many movies out there, and a lot of them you can learn from. Then you got something that's so crazy that you can't really learn anything from. You know what I mean? Like the very first time I noticed that I could learn from a video was the day after tomorrow. No, not the day after tomorrow. The day after. That was like in 1979 or 80, somewhere around in there. You know, these people were trying to survive in Kansas after the nuclear explosion and radiation was all over the world. And it focused on these people living in a basement, and they was dealing with the fallout from the shelter, and they had these doctors and soldiers out there trying to save everybody, and people were just dropping dead left and right from radiation poisoning. And he said he got the gnome. Yeah, I got to know the gnome very well. He's here now. Hey, Tibor. Postman, since I was a postman, I really like that movie. I mean, it might be somewhat realistic what we might be facing down the road. Not now, but maybe down the road. But it was kind of extreme, you know. But it tells you one thing, that people will organize, and you're gonna have your good people, and you go with the bad people and the gangs that was running everything, making people pay them, taxes or whatever you want to call them. You know, that's what they used to call people that went to school. Not in my era, but in my nephew's era, people used to have to go to school. Used to have to pay taxes to the bullies. That's what they called it. That was crazy. Hey, hula holler. So anyway, it's it's a lot of good movies out there. Like, I really like The Domestic. When I first seen that a couple of years ago, I really like that. That's more realistic to what we might be facing, that in Bushwick. And I mean, I always did like the blackouts. You know, it was always two blackout movies. You know, you got the one where the couple goes out into a small city. They got a cabin out there. His uncle left them not a cabin, but a house out in like a real small town, maybe a couple of 100 people, maybe 1,000 people. And then you got the blackout where the people that live in the suburb, they take off and try to go on the road and go somewhere safe. And, you know, that didn't work out too well for them. But yeah, you got two blackouts. So when you watch blackouts, you got to know which one you're going to watch. And like I say, the way things are going now, we might end up with The Purge. Somebody was telling me about The Purge the other day. I seen them all. I mean, it's actually 4 Purge movies. You know, all of them ain't good, but it's 4 Purge movies, and you can learn something from The Purge. You can learn that people are crazy. That's what you can learn. And if they ever did legalize that kind of craziness, you better watch out. You better watch out. Let's see the books. That one very good. Okay. Who's your patriot? Says he's a second-generation prepper. My dad prepared for a nuclear winter because of the Soviet Union. You know what? I lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis. I was young then, you know, and I remember when we were in school, we used to always have the fallout drills where we used to have to get out of our classroom and go down to the basement of the school building and get up to the wall and kneel down. Or if we couldn't get there, we had to go up under our desk. See, I grew up with that kind of stuff. I mean, I grew up with that. That was in the 60s when we had the nuclear missile crisis. I remember that. We always had to go do that. And we knew where we knew where every fallout shelter in the city was. Because they had maps. They gave you maps and they told you if you had to go here, you had to go here. And, you know, fallout shelters. I remember I was talking to these people once. Hey, Adrian. Art by Adrian. And hey, Josh Connors. I was talking to these people. They put a printing shop in this building that used to house a fallout shelter. And they didn't know why the basement there was so huge. And I had to explain to them. And I showed them the sign, but they still had the sign on the thing, fallout shelter. And I had to, yeah, but see, if you like me or Uncle Al and a few other people out here that you know about the going up under the desk and going into the basement in a fallout shelter situation, because we grew up with that because of the right. Which I don't know how they're gonna do or what they're gonna do, but I'm not talking about that. I'm gonna talk about they're very entertaining. That T will say, "Yep, they made us get up under the wooden desk. Great protection." Yeah, well, at least they can find you. They say, "Just look up under the desk." Yeah, that was crazy. Now, when you look back on it, you see how crazy that was, because see, we never would be able to survive it. I say you're right about the day after that movie was. a lot of people who shook a generation. That's something square. Yes, I still like that movie to this day, you know, because they do have a version of it on YouTube, and sometimes I go ahead and watch it. Jason Robards, he's in there, and it'll wake you up. I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of movies out there, a lot of TV series out there that can wake people up, like Jericho. You know, if you ever watch the TV series Jericho, it's about this town in Kansas, and something happened, a nuclear explosion happened, and a bunch of nuclear explosions happened, and they were just, you know, in this town. They bunkered down in their town, and they boarded it off and shut everything down. And when nobody come into their little town, you know, I loved it, but it ended too short, and it changed too quick. The format that they were on, because they went from one thing to another thing. It just started to get kind of weird, but it ended. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. You say your dad told you about all this when y'all was in Colorado. Yeah, I mean, if you I would say in your mid 60s to deal with, and this is nothing new. So we gonna go through this like we went through the other one. We're gonna survive. And then the movie The Road. Now The Road. I mean, I went to see that at the movie theater. I was shocked. I'm gonna tell you why I was shocked. Because they let the hero die. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you. Well, I'm gonna say spoiler alert. They let Viggo Mortensen, they let him die at the end. You know, he ended up getting radiation poisoning and coughing up blood, and he left him alone. And these people that have been trailing him came and got him, and it took him up under their wing and stuff like that. But I didn't like that. I was always rooting for the hero and the son to get to where they had to go and everything to be all right, and the ship's there to save them and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it didn't happen that way. They just still had to struggle. But this time he was gone because, you know, the mother was dead already or gone somewhere, and because she left. But anyway, that was very good. The Road is, like I say, it shocked me, and I really didn't like that ending. I was hoping that they would let the hero live, but that they didn't do it. It's like the Book of Eli. You know, you hoping Denzel Washington live after all that stuff he done been through, and he doesn't make it either. So you know, it was like craziness out there. It says your connection is unstable. Please wait and try to reconnect. That means they're gonna start buffering me because I'm talking about stuff. I'm not really saying anything. Y'all can cut that out, YouTube. Yeah, because they will make your channel buffer. I learned that from watching Paul and Adrian channel. Hey, Fireball Fred, guess what? I want to show you this. Yeah. Yep. See, I got your gnome, and that's this buddy he hangs out with. Yeah. I seen The Boys. I seen the first and second season. Yeah, The Boys, a superhero show. That's I would say anti-superhero show. That was crazy. That was crazy. I think folks of our generation are tough old goats. That's why we won't. Yeah. I think I'm tough. I mean, I'm mentally tough and I'm physically tough, you know. Yeah. So like I said, I'm not ready to go anywhere, but nowadays generation, it's just so much. I mean, sometimes I think I'm like the old mountain man, you know, like the guy that used to go out there and be in the woods, going looking for skins and beavers and all that kind of stuff, and the mountain man, and then they come back into society, and then everybody looks at them like they crazy because they dared to adventure. And that's me. I'm daring to adventure right here in my home. While everybody else still going out to these clubs and they got a lockdown where they can't be out past 10 o'clock. You know, it's unenforceable, they said. It says they're gonna have a curfew, they're closed, and but these people, they find a way. They go to after hour clubs because a lot of them springing up. I don't know if you remember those back in the 60s. Those were big back in the 60s. We had one on our street when I was a kid. I used to cut the grass for the guy. You know, I cut his grass and shoveled his snow, made some extra money. Yep. But he ran the after hours joint, and now they're back. Now they're back because people can't be in bars, so you know people are always thinking about ways to make money, and the way they make money is they start giving people what they want, even if it's illegal, just like the 1920s and prohibition, which happened around the same time that they had that pandemic, so it's just like that now. So people gonna make money. You're gonna have give them entertainment and booze and chicken, like who was that? Bobby Blue Band had a record out called Annie Mae's Cafe. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be like, Annie Mae's Cafe. Hey, Val Gutierrez. Yeah, so okay. Yeah. Dave M, how you doing? So anyway, like I said, people gonna make money. That's why we got so much stuff going on. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, I like the TV show. Revolution was one that I really loved, and I hated to see it end that way because it didn't end right. It didn't end right. I mean, it cut it short. Yes, Prepper said George Orwell, 1984. Oh yeah, that's one of the very first books I read when I was in school. Was George Orwell, 1984, and Brave New World and the Clones. See, a lot of people don't remember the book The Clones, but we read those. The Clones was basically about a deep state. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It had these people that was genetically engineered from birth. They didn't know it. It was like 7 or 8 people, and the way you told them apart from everybody else was because of the eyes. One had a blue eye and one had a green eye, so they both had one eye each, one green and one blue eye. People are born like that, They had eyes like that, and they were genetically engineered, and they were basically better than everybody else, and they ended up ruling the world. One guy went over there and killed the Pope, another guy, when the president's office, killed him and took over the leadership of the world. But that's a whole other thing. That's a book. That's when I used to read a lot before they had TV like they do now. Now, like I said, I'm talking about these movies out here. And another one they had out was How It Ends. I don't know if a lot of people seen that. That was a Netflix movie. It was Forrest Whitaker, and it was a guy, Forrest Whitaker, son-in-law, and Forrest Whitaker. They had to go all the way out to like Oregon or Seattle, Washington, someplace out there from Chicago. They had to drive. They drove this Chrysler 300 all the way out there in the middle of I would say a sunflare disaster, because it was nature that was churning on them, and they was having these like solar flares, these dust storms, and that radiation from a solar flare can kill you quick, and it cuts off your car because it's like an EMP. And anyway, they had to drive all the way out there, and they were driving through all these crazy people and stuff like that. Because when things happen like that and things get crazy, people get crazy. People are crazy now. Someone is cutting all the lines in Walking Dead, and I want to know who. I don't know. I'd like to get that gig. Yeah, they don't never have tall grass in there. I mean, realistically, you get tall grass anywhere that is not cut. I can tell you that. My yard get tall if I don't get it cut. Yeah, but you know what? Who knows what might happen with us in this world? We might get vampires and zombies and mutants, because you see that all the times in the movies, and there's always crazy people. You always had the crazy people, not just the mutants, but you ever see the movies The Crazies? That was a government situation where the plane crashed and the virus got out and it started making people be violent and crazy. And they went in and killed off a whole town so it wouldn't spread. They actually nuked it. Blew it up. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that could happen. I mean, because we don't know. Like I said, I'm trying not to mention anything that might get my channel buffered or taken off or air or anything, because YouTube is doing a lot of things now. So, but I'm gonna just say, 12 Monkeys. Man, that was a good show. You know, the movie was good and the show was good. I had to watch the movie twice to understand it. But I mean, it's always about a virus. And now we living in the virus, so who knows? You know, like the strain. Let's see, dudes, we got zombies now. Okay. Yeah, we got zombies now. That's because yeah, well, anyway, we got zombies. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. I'm gonna tell you another thing. Not only do we have zombies, we got blood suckers out here too. They suck the life right out of you. Yeah. And you know we got mutants. So I'm just saying a lot of people, believe it or not, they want zombies. They're still waiting for zombies. They hoping that this vaccine cause people to turn into zombies. You know, like World War Z or what's that, Zombie Land. People are waiting for that. I don't know what I can't understand it. I mean, and they actually are. Really, I'm serious. I talked to a guy about 6 months ago. I haven't talked to him since because I told him he was nuts. He waiting. He's waiting for the zombies. He's actually waiting. He said he got his zombie killing kit all set up. He got his machete. He got a sword. He got his shotguns. He got his MP-15. He's ready for the zombies. I'm like, man, come on. We don't need zombies. We got enough with all this stuff going on. But he wanted zombies. Yeah. The new movie Songbird is no good for young minds these days. Songbird. Is that about what's his name, John Brown? Because I haven't watched it, you know, because it comes on at a bad time for me on TV, and I don't record everything. Let's see who the uncut grass. Rodents and snakes. If things get bad, you might have to eat rodents and snakes, you know. Yeah, you know, like in the Terminator movie, they were eating rats. But that's what I'm afraid of. Technology turn on us. I seen someplace up there in Japan. They got this wolf, this mechanical wolf, programmable wolf that they got out there protecting the gardens and stuff from bears. It flashes lights and making growling sounds. It's a robotic wolf. It is in Japan. Yeah, like I said, I seen some stuff that they got, and it is amazing to me, you know, that how things are out there like that. Fireball Fred. Oh yeah. Yep. Rodents always carry diseases. That's how you got the bubonic plague in the Dark Ages. Yeah, you got to be careful of that. Anyway, another movie is 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later. Now, that was kind of crazy. You know, you get the blood on you, you know, or any kind of bodily fluid on you, you change into one of them crazies. They weren't zombies. But I don't know if they actually was eating people or just killing people. I think they were just killing people because I don't think they were eating people. If they bite you, they bite you. But I mean, they were just actually killing people. And they get the bodily fluid on them and they were just crazy. And that was a pandemic type strain anyway. And they were like crazy out there. And I really enjoyed that movie because they were running so fast. I mean, 28 days, they were just everywhere. And then like in 28 weeks later, they thought it had it solved and one person could spread a whole bunch of stuff out there. And that would happen out there with that. We could be headed for the Hunger Games. Yeah. You know what? Somebody had broken down this is Homestead Aquarius. Somebody had broken down into districts, which district we will be in, by what states we will be in, you know, in the Hunger Games. And I thought that was kind of cute, you know, not cute, but I thought that was interesting, you know, because they might be right, because pretty soon we might have to be like that. Cabin Fever is another one. There's too many virus movies. Yeah, but they were out before the virus, believe it or not. There's always pandemics, aliens, vampires, AI. I mean, it's all kinds of disaster movies. I mean, it's movies about the end of the earth. As a matter of fact, we had I think it was the 6th or the 7th of November, that the asteroid about the size of Chevy S10 missed the Earth by 250 miles. And then a couple of days before that, we had one asteroid or whatever it was. They haven't figured it out yet. Still up there. It landed in Portland, and right. Matter of fact, on the election day, it landed in Portland up there. I say landed, where it hit in Portland up there. They still haven't figured out what it was. So anyway, yeah, anything is possible out here. And like I say, we live in an age. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong. We live in the age of too much information. Like when I was a kid, the original Thing with James Arness was scary. I mean, that was like, wow, I'm a Teenage Werewolf, with Michael Landon. I mean, those were kind of movies I grew up with. And then all of a sudden, you end up movie with Kurt Russell's The Thing. You ever see that, the very first one? Kurt Russell, when that first came out, that blew my mind. My wife was pregnant with our first daughter, and I took her to see that because she loves scary movies like me. Hey, Lori, Crochet, Corner 2, how you doing? Let's see. So anyway, and that's what's wrong. A lot of people are numb to I say blood and guts and gore. They are numb to it. I mean, it used to be, you see somebody, get a cut, like we put out playing and somebody grab hold of a piece of glass or get their hand cut on a nail. I had this guy named John Nelson. We were playing. He used to hide up in the trees. See, now he was up in the tree, and he fell out of the tree because he was up higher, and a lot of guys hide up there, and he hit every branch on the way down. He hit every branch on the way down and broke both his arms. But his arms didn't just break, how they were fractured. You see arm this way, another one that way. And we like 11, 12 years old. We playing in the trees, in the empty garages. We just playing, hide and seek. You can hide wherever you can hide. And we thought that was horrible. Horrible. Now in the movies, like Saws and stuff like the movie like Saw 2 or Jason's or stuff like that. You see somebody get their head cut off or their arm cut off, you go, woo, woo, woo. So I mean, we done been desensitized to gore. They say the more gore, the better it is. They made movies just about gore. What's that? The Feast. You ever see the movies The Feast? That ain't. I'm just saying we've been desensitized to it. Okay, agree. Video games. Yeah, see, we had video games. We didn't have all this. I mean, I remember pinball. Man, I was like Elton John in the Who. I was a pinball wizard. We used to play each other for lunch money. I mean, we did. We go to the taco. We go to a taco place with a little taco shop on our street. They had 3 video games in there, pinball games. We go in there, or we go to Donut Hole. It was a place called the Donut Hole here, and they had like 4 or 5 games. It was in front of a bus stop too, over by the school. And we go in there and we played pinball. I didn't say video game. I said pinball. That's what we did when we were younger. But now they got. You don't have to go to the video game places anymore. Remember they used to have them in the malls? I don't even still know if they got them in the malls. I don't even know if they still got malls where you live at because most of the malls here are tore down. Except like if you go like on the west side to Great Northern or something like that. They started tearing down a lot of malls up here, like you're going to do a lot of restaurants, since most of the restaurants around here are closed up now. And like I said, see, I got my hair cut. It did. So that's what I'm saying. This pandemic put a lot of people out of business. Okay. Quarters for Pac-Man and Asteroids in my day. Yeah, Asteroid. Yeah, I remember those games. That were good games. Man, Pac-Man. Wants to go to the movies with me. You love going to movies with me because we used to have a thing before everything happened. See, I'm retired. So when I retired, I planned on spending a lot of my time with my wife because, like I said, when I was working at the post, I worked 10, 12 hours a day. And that's a lot. People was always wondering why they get their mail late because I'm working 2 routes. you know, because I was stacking up on that money before I retired, paying off all my bills and everything. So anyway, when I retired, me and my wife had our thing going on. Sunday night, we would go to karaoke, maybe on Sunday night, but we usually go Sunday night. Monday, we would go to the movies. Tuesday, we really didn't have too much planned. Wednesday, we would go to the outdoor concerts. They always had outdoor festivals and outdoor concerts up here. Always up the way over by the university. Okay. Thursday, they had karaoke. We might go karaoke again. Friday, they had out at this place out in Beechwood. They had live outdoor bands. We always go there and get that ice cream because they had like a Mitchell's ice cream. And like I said, Saturday was free. Like I said, basically Saturday and Tuesdays were free, but the rest of the week we had our schedule planned. We were doing this for a while until things changed. I ain't gonna mention the word because my channel will start buffering. But anyway, you know, I had a lot of plans. I just want to go to Comic-Con with Grandpa Willie. I wish you could. You could just go online and just see all the people out there that I just put on there. But I mean, you should see some of the costumes and some of the people that dress up. I mean, it's crazy. Like if they would have had a Comic-Con this year, I would have been to Comic-Con. But we usually have it in March, you know, around St. Patrick's Day. Matter of fact, they had it on St. Patrick's. Fell in there. But anyway, downtown when we have our winter festival, you know, we always had ice skating down there. They opened up the ice skating rink. And that's canceled, and a few other things are canceled, but I don't want to talk about that. And so I got to wait to 2022 for the next Comic-Con, like I say here, because they have it everywhere. They even have it up in Canada, but the big one is in San Diego, and I was always planning on going there. That's on my bucket list. San Diego Comic-Con. They got Dragon Fest in China or Japan, and New York have a Comic-Con, and Canada got a Comic-Con. They got about 4 or 5 of them up there. They everywhere. It's everywhere. Wizard World. That's what this ad is for. Wizard World. See? Wizard World Comic-Con. Wizard World. They advertise. But anyway, I'm drifting. I'm sorry. I don't mean to drift, but I do drift. I like movies with Ray, Fireball, Fred. Yeah, we can go on a road trip. We can be like I said, the movie The End, how it ends. I could be not Morgan Freeman. I could be Forrest Whitaker. And you could be my grandson. We going out there to rescue somebody. All right. Okay. Anyway, like Falling Skies. I mean, that was basically an alien thing, but it was a movie too about survival out there. Falling Skies and Defiance when aliens got here, and you know you mixing in with the aliens and stuff like that. And so I'm just saying, but Walking Dead gonna always be the pinnacle of basically the disaster movies, you know, The Walking Dead, and I love The Walking Dead from day one. Still do. I still watch all the spinoffs. Now they're getting more into the people instead of they're killing off the zombies. But anyway, they're still good, you know, and I always want to enjoy them. But on YouTube. No, YouTube was all right. It's just they tagging a lot of channels because if you talk about politics, your channel will be tagged, and you talk about the virus because they trying to keep away what they say the misinformation. See, I don't have any misinformation because I don't know anything. I just know what I think. I don't really know anything. That's why I say I'm gonna put out a video. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say in this video, but I'm gonna put it out anyway. I might do it this weekend, and it's just gonna be some crazy stuff because see, everybody getting too blown out of hand about what's going on, and all I want to know is with all these people being distracted, when are they gonna send people help? Because like I said, my barbers went out of business. When have you known a barbershop to close? You see what I'm saying? People keeping their kids home. Nobody going out to get their hair cut. you know, and he got hurt last time. We had a state shut down for a month, you know, so he would have got him another job. That's what I understand. He's working at you know, they had bills to pay, he had kids to feed. So that's what I'm saying, you know, barbershops, restaurants. Now I got a brother-in-law. He opened up a restaurant in the middle of February. He opened a restaurant. Great grilled, the fried chicken, you know, all that stuff. His girl, his wife cooks, and another guy that he knows cooks real good. And I mean, it's great food, but he's struggling out there. He had to keep his other job. You know, he has a business. He's a business owner. He's a businessman. And basically, the restaurant was named after his daughter who was murdered. And so you know, he's struggling out there. And I mean, it's a lot of restaurants going under in my neighborhood. I don't know about where you live at, you know, but the small restaurants. I mean, I ain't talking about the McDonald's or the Burger King, and I don't know, but small restaurants, sit down and eat, family restaurants, even some of the takeout restaurants, like really getting hurt. And where I'm at, because like I say, I live in a city, and there's a lot of people out here, a lot of people. Oh, I got 11 thumbs up. 11 people like me. Thumbs up. Okay. All right. So anyway, you're buffering pretty bad. Good attack on your channel too. Yeah, that's Prepper Tribe. Yeah, they do that. Like I say, when you start talking about stuff that they don't want you to talk about, they will buffer your channel. They can do that now. And I learned that from Paul and Adrian. All right. So anyway, another thing is like movies that you really like is like I say, the Purge movies. And the Purge movies, it's not post-apocalyptic movies. This is like how should I say this? We're gonna let like I say, the inmates run the asylum for one day. That's what that movie's about. You know, if you ever see the first one, it was about the guy locked up in the house. But the second and the third one, man, second and third one is off the chain. The fourth one I didn't really like, but the second and third one, it was just crazy. You know, and nobody was protected. They said anybody could kill anybody, even politicians like that. But they had changed the rules. That was I think that was an election year or something like that. That was crazy. The Purge. And we might have to come to that one day, where things is going, that everything's going out there. Hey, Detroit Prepper. Well, your Kroger's on strike. Wow, I heard that the trucking industry, the Teamsters, are thinking about shutting down for a while and just do like they did once or twice. I think it's twice before. Like when Hoffa was in charge, they just parked their trucks on the freeway and just walked off. That was the craziest thing I ever remember happened. They parked them wherever they were at. The Teamsters. You know, we can't live without the Teamsters running. I mean, trucks is the blood line that goes through the veins of America. I don't know if I said that right, but anyway, yeah, we don't have trucks running. We don't get supplies. Gotta run. Son is here to help me get some stuff done. All right, then. I see you later, crazy family. Yeah, so I'm gonna just tell everybody this. Like I usually try to make sure everybody know that make sure you got your food and water. Make sure you got your electrical supplies, because the power do go out. We had power outage here Sundays, you know, 15 minutes. But it didn't really matter because the football game was delayed for 30 minutes because we had so much wind and storm and stuff. And we had like 70-mile-an-hour winds here. And today we got like 60 degrees and only 30-mile-an-hour winds, but the winds out of the south. But anyway, I'm just saying, Mother Nature. Mother Nature is your most dangerous foe right now in the winter. Right now, so if you're not ready for Mother Nature or winter, you better get there, and you better be prepared, because, like I say, when the power go out, your heat goes out, unless you got a fireplace. So you got to be prepared. And like I say, in a lot of these movies, you don't see people prepared. I mean, you just see people that's out there. You know, they just wandering the wasteland. And I don't want to ever be out there wandering the wasteland. You know what I mean? That's not gonna be me wandering out there in the wasteland. I mean, some people are. That's good for them. Some people want that. Some people, I can't. You know what I really can't understand? Oh, Kroger had a strike a month ago. Okay. All right. What I can't understand is why people want to go out in the woods. We have a here. Cleveland used to be called the Forest City. And matter of fact, they planted a tree across the street on the curb because the tree behind it is dying. But anyway, they go in the woods. I mean, you be out there in mud and high winds. It's not a glamorous thing. It's not just camping. Now, I've been camping. Oh, I love camping. I've been camping. I say I must have been camping maybe in my lifetime. I go camping 20 times. When I was young, before I got married. I took my wife once when I got married. But before I got married, I was out there. I didn't mind. Sometimes I wouldn't camp without a camper. I slept in my car. You guys say, hey, we're going camping this weekend. You gonna come on up? Yeah, I'll be up there. Shoot, jump off of work, going up there. I sleep in the car. That's what we did. Back in the day, when you're young, you do that shit. I was all over the state. Ohio University. Wife went to school down in Miami, Ohio. So I was everywhere. Anywhere in Ohio. I've been up to Michigan too, but I went to Detroit a couple of times. I went to Detroit to the museums. I always travel. I did a lot of traveling lately. Wonder Woman will kill movie theaters. I heard that they're going to show it on HBO Max. They're going to live stream it at the same time. Well, you know what? This is Baleen the Hobbit. Baleen the Hobbit. The Hobbit. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. Movie theaters are dead. I hate to say that. And like I said, I had a thing where every Monday we would go to the movies. I love that because I get the senior citizen discount. I have a little card, get senior citizen discount. But Regal, remember, I don't know if y'all remember Regal. Regal Cinemas went out of business. Remember? Up here, anyway, we had like 3 Regal Cinemas in my area that I would go to. I mean, they like a 30-mile area. They all closed up. They closed all the Regals. So now we don't have Regal. We got Cinemark. And this one guy, he got like 4 independent movie theaters. And that's about it. But when a movie theater as big as Regal goes out of business, it's just dead weight. But they bringing back drive-ins. I don't know if y'all got drive-ins where we got like 3 of them up here, and they always busy now. Matter of fact, they still open. Usually they be closed by now, but they brought back the drive-in. See, when I first started dating my wife, we used to go to the drive-in movie theaters. I used to love the drive-in. Yep, but like I say, things and times have changed. I mean, but then they say time and changes will always repeat themselves if you're not careful. I say Davion drive-ins were cool. I barely remember going. Young kid. Yes, remember. Yeah, we missed the drive-ins. Yeah. Agrophobic Adam is here. Hey. Yeah, I used to love the drive-in. We had a thing. I would get off of work. I would get off of work on Saturday. We would go up to this Red Barn, a place called Red Barn, and I would get the dinner pack. And I go pick up my wife and the kid, and we gone. We go to the drive-in. We're sitting there eating chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy and coleslaw, and drinking that big old pop. And go up there and get some popcorn for the kids. And we had a ball. And it was cheap, too. Drive-in theaters. Fallen Sky the Prepper. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing? Yeah, so like I said, I mean, things are different back from 60 to 20s. I mean, that's what, about 50, 60 years now? Something like that. The difference between the 2 generations. But everything is going to change soon. Double feature at the drive-in and then get home around 3:30 in the morning. Wow, yeah. I remember the very last time I went to the drive-in. We was at after a baseball game. Me and some of the guys, we went after a baseball game. We were playing out in Menor. And so after the baseball game, the guys say, "Hey, they got a drive-in theater over there. Let's go." So we went. But before we went, we stopped off and got some beer. And we sat out there watching the movie at the drive-in theater. That was crazy. That was crazy. That's the last time I went. I went without my wife, and I had to have some explaining to do when I got home that day. Say the baseball game was over hours ago. Yeah, but that wasn't good. I was young when they closed the drive-ins. Wow. You never had a chance to really experience the drive-ins. We still, like I say, we still got 3 of them up here. Matter of fact, Kent State University is using one right now for the early, instead of tour of the campus, they meeting people up at the drive-in and they talking to them in their cars or whatever. I don't know exactly how that's working, but they're using one of the drive-ins for that right now. Well, drive-ins are the perfect pandemic activity. Safety. Yeah, because you stayed in your car. See, I remember we used to put that little thing in the window, and a couple of times I forgot it was there, and I drove off with it on the thing. I pulled it loose and didn't break my window because you got to let your window down. Yeah, but yeah, I remember that. But then they started using the radio. You just turn your radio to a certain channel, and yeah, you can get the drive-ins were fun. It was a lot of fun. I don't even remember the last movie. What we were seeing? I don't remember. I think it was a slasher movie. I don't remember, but it was good. We still had drive-in theaters, but it has a lot of meth heads there. Got them everywhere. Them zombies are everywhere. You got a lot of zombies. That's what those meth heads are. They zombies, and that's what you got to worry about. Yep. Let me tell you something. Crackheads, meth heads, people on this fentanyl or whatever it is, they all zombies. They if they don't get it, you just watch them. They got to walk around. They're not like the zombies that's on that bath soap that will eat your face. They zombies, and they got to have it. They can't control themselves, so they go out and they do stupid shit. They break in your house or they try to rob you at a store. They do all kinds of things. It's just crazy. It's a Pepper Tribe. I was a kid, and it was a Friday the 13th movie. Yeah, like I said, it was I think it was maybe a Friday the 13th movie. It was a slasher movie we went to see. Guys talked me into it. I was driving. I had a car. Yep. So anyway, you never know what's going on. But like I say, I love movies. China arrested zombies to take their organs from sick people. Oh, China. I don't know what. I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth about China. I have no idea what goes on over there. I mean, you got a country with that many people, and you really don't know what's exactly going on. I mean, the only thing you hear about is what military stuff they're doing, but I mean, it's just too many people for stuff to not be going on. Last time I found out what was going on with China was when that factory blew up between China and Russia. But that's a whole other story. They're gonna start buffering my channel if I start talking about it, but I ain't gonna do it. We had zombies at the gas station. Yeah, ain't that amazing? They can't get a job, or they don't want a job, but they want to hang out around the gas station and ask you for money every time they see you. They like dependents. Chernobyl, that's Russia. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that stuff. Let me tell you a little story. This is a little story. When I was carrying mail, because I carried for like 30 years, over 30 years, and it was always the same people. Every time they see me, they say, "Here come my meal ticket." And they will ask me for money. They give me a sob story. "Oh, I need bus fare. Could you help me out? I need to get home. I need some bus fare. Could you help me out? I need to get a sandwich. I haven't eaten in 3 days." They're always a sandwich or a bus fare. It was always something, because I had a route that had a lot of restaurants and businesses and gas stations on there, and they always hung around there. Every time I get ready to go in and deliver the mail, they always ask me for money. So one day, I go to the gas station to deliver mail. This guy, I know he ain't got no car, because he always asks me for money every day. And he's standing up there with a gas can, and he's asking people for money for gasoline, because he said he done broke down on the road down the street, and he just want to get some money so he can get some gas. I mean, they come up with some ingenious schemes, and you'd be surprised how many people was giving them money, and all I could do was laugh. And I told him, "I can't give you no more money. You done got you a scheme." It was always like that, and that's how they do it. You say you ran out of gas and have no car. It was for your generator. Dave M says I ran out of gas but had no car. I have never run out of gas. I'm afraid to run out of gas. Yeah, because if I run out of gas, man, I don't know what I would do. My car broke down several times before. Yep. Some of them got them tons of money. Yeah, they do. Some of it's just a scam, but some of them, you know, they see at this one gas station. I ain't gonna name the gas station. I ain't gonna say where it's at, but I'm gonna just say it on the east side of Cleveland. It was on my route. So if you know me, one of the people that know me that watching my video, it was on the route. Okay, it was on the route. It was next door to the McDonald's, and this one guy, he had this VCR box, and he was trying to sell his VCR box to people. Now, you know the scammers when you out there. You know when you're on the street, you know the scammer. And he sold this VCR box sight unseen to this guy. The guy never opened it up. And when he opened it up, after the guy took off and left, he said he was going over to McDonald's to get something to eat. And he gave the guy the box. The guy gave him $40. He opened up the box, rocks. He got a box of rocks for $40. So you got to watch people. Yeah, you never know. The schemes try on me. So yeah, it's always something. So I done drifted all the way off to what I was talking about. I was talking about movies. Oh yeah, like you take a movie like I Am Legend with Will Smith. That's the that movie was made 3 times. You know Vincent Price made the very first one, and then I like the one with Charlton Heston because I grew up with that one when Charlton Heston did it, The Last Man on Earth, when he was staying in the high rise. Yeah. See, that's how it could be out here. You got all kinds of movies, and then you got movies like Logan's Run, where when you get to a certain age, a lot of people won't remember these movies. When you get to a certain age, it was a futuristic society that nobody was allowed to live over 30. Once you get to your 30th birthday, they put you in this arena. And then I don't know how you end up floating up in the sky. So you start floating up, and all of a sudden you see laser beams hit you, your whole body just explode. And then you was like going to Valhalla or something like that. You was all happy and shit. I don't see how they was happy getting blown up, but that's where it was at Logan's Run until Logan and this girl figured out that wasn't real. They were just doing that to people because they doing population control. And so they end up escaping the thing. Well, you got to watch the movie because I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't spoil a couple movies for people and stuff like that. I don't want to spoil anymore. It's kind of like that series Jeremiah that was on TV, with the guy from 90210 that just passed away. Matthew Perry, I think it's Matthew Perry. Yeah, he passed away last year. And the Huxtable kid, they were in that. It was a virus or something that came out there and it killed all the older people over 25. So nobody was. Matter of fact, I don't even think it was. I think it was younger than that. But anyway, they killed all adults. And the kids had to raise themselves in this world. Can you imagine that? Everybody old end up dying, and all that's left is kids. And if you know kids like I know kids, see, I know kids. I know kids because, like I said, I got a lot of people, a lot of family, a lot of grandkids and stuff like that. And you just see how these kids act sometimes. They act on emotion. You know what I mean? They act on emotion. If you tell them they can't have something, they break down and cry. Some of them throw temper tantrums, but not around me because I don't play that. But that's how it is. Let's see, movies out of time with Justin Timberlake. You watch your countdown. Yeah, I seen that. I thought that was good. I thought that was very good. That was a good one. Where you actually your body had a little clock in it, a little time thing. You bartered for time. Yeah, you bartered for time. That was a very good movie. Hey, Magic Ball. Yeah. I saw one of my babies on a drug incorporated TV show. Yeah, you get them out there. So oh yeah. Yeah, so you get that. Like I say, you got see. That's one thing. That's one thing you can always guarantee that you're gonna have to deal with people, and you're gonna have to deal with a lot of people on drugs because you look at the percentage before this stuff happened. How many people were in rehab? How many people wasn't in rehab? See, like we don't have like I don't know how many people remember the Wire. Remember the Wire TV show? You know, when you had all the corner boys out there, they were all standing out there, and it was in Baltimore. They were all out there on these corners, and they were selling all this stuff. We don't have that here anymore. We had it here. Everybody had it here. Everybody had it everywhere. I mean, the major cities. You know, you had people standing on the corners and selling stuff. Guys drive up to them and they get whatever they got to get. But we don't have that anymore. You know, because they done got, you know, technical now. They use their phones or these throwaway phones, and you call them up and they meet you. You know, you can see them pull up on. I used to see this all the time when I was delivering. They would pull up on the street, and the car pull up on them. The guy get out, he run to the car, hand something in, and come back and jump in his car. They drive away, and that's what they do now. It's hard to catch them now because, like I say, oh yeah, you see, you know, I heard about that. They didn't legalize all the drugs, just misdemeanor drugs, which is crazy. But they, you know what? And then I turned around and seen that our county is not arresting people for misdemeanors here anymore, unless it's abuse, or spousal abuse, or something like that, because our jails are filled, and we don't want to spread pandemic. You know, we don't want to spread that around because our jails is overfull right now. So they're not even arresting people on misdemeanors here. But it's not drug misdemeanors. They didn't go that far and like they did there, legalize a certain amount. And now it's here, and they're not arresting people because our jails are full. We got no more room. We got no more room. It's a perpetrator. The Wire was awesome. Him from Maryland. Oh, you from Maryland? I real with that show. Who was really? Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, my daughter lives in Maryland, and I've been to Baltimore. I've been on Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis got a street up there, Ray Lewis Avenue. Like I said, I do a lot of traveling. You'd be surprised the places I've been. Except out west. I have never been to North or South Dakota. Never got to Montana. We were supposed to go to Denver, but I never got there. You know, basically places like that. I never went to Arizona. And there's a few states I haven't been to. I've been to Georgia twice, actually 3 times. I've been to Alabama, Tennessee, South, you know, down I-65. But anyway, that's not for me talking about travel. So I've been to Hawaii. Okay, let's see. You will working here. Okay. Yeah, they say my voice put people to sleep. So don't fall asleep, especially if you're on a ladder. So anyway, like I say, they have TV shows. Like I say, some of them are just so outrageous. You know, like, I don't know. I like them. Like Van Helsing. You ever see Van Helsing? You know, that was another one of these vampire shows or whatever it was. You know, turn people to vampires. And it was Van Helsing's great granddaughter, and she was out there fighting these people, and everybody was bunkered in and locked down and stuff like that. It was pretty. And they turn your back, and some people will bite you. They wouldn't be. See, I told you. Look, they buffering me. They say your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect. I'm just talking about a TV show. But anyway, so yeah, when if you ever do live, you start noticing what they do to your channel because they don't want you to talk about certain things. Because, like I say, the Book of Eli, The Road, The Day After, they're all good movies. You know, The Postman, they're all good movies. Most of them, they way well ahead of where we are right now with whatever's going on. And like I said, and I want you guys to understand, if you're not into this mindset, but we are in shit hit the fan right now, we are in SHTF. Anytime things happen like this, where it affects your economy, it affects your ability to move around as a American and a human being, or if it's being restricted, you in a SHTF. And right now, that's where we are. All we need now to set this thing off is a financial collapse, and people will lose their damn mind. And I hope we never get to that point. It's buffering. It's buffier. It's back. Yeah, because I was beginning to talk about because I was beginning to talk about the virus, and they don't want you to talk about the virus. So don't mention the virus. Don't even think about the virus. Oh yeah, Dave said, but I couldn't believe Eli was blind. I didn't know he was blind until he got that book. You know how far the show ninja. he told the one guy, I can smell you. I was like, wow, that was great. Anyone hear anything about trucker strike on the 29th? Rumor. Like I said, I've been hearing stuff, but I ain't seen stuff. I mean, I have no way to verify that the truckers are going to stop running. And I don't know. But I'm just saying. Usually, when there's smoke, there's fire. So we need to prepare. There we go again. Okay. Look, I'm not talking about the virus. I'm not talking about the virus. But anyway, something's coming down the pike. We need to be prepared. So, like I said, we might hit that financial thing before the end of the year, because everybody knows the stock market is on eggshells right now. I mean, it's just gonna be conjecture basically, and I'm gonna try to figure out what I think is the deep state. You know, we always talk about who really controls the presidency of the United States. You know, whether Trump or Biden, neither one. And I'm gonna try to explain to you why I think like that. And I'm gonna do my next video, so keep an eye open for that one, because it might not be up long, because they're gonna probably tag it and snag it down. You know, because they don't want you to talk about that stuff. And I'm not gonna try to talk to it, but I need to get that out there. They were forcing people to eat insects, bugs, because cattle meat is harmful. You know, that's like that train thing, that snow piercing. That's a post-apocalyptic movies too. But I really didn't like that because I mean, a train. I mean, it was a train that runs around the world. You know, it was just a good make TV movie, but I really didn't get into it. If the truck stopped, it will be a snowball effect. Yep, you're right. We can't have that. We can't have the truck. We need to find y'all been through, because we went through this a lot with the Teamsters in the Jimmy Hoffa era. We went through, like I said, I know two for sure. And then we had our local strikes, you know, with the garbage men here. But I mean, I went through two strikes for sure. Say Pizza Hut and Taco Bell is pushing that fake meat too. Yeah, everybody pushing the fake meat because they've been worried about if the cows get affected. Can you see if people are getting affected? They worried about if this thing jumps species. You know what I mean? And it could jump species. Look at the deer, zombie deer. We got. See, up here where I live at, we have a huge population of deer. You know, you ever see the movie The Deer Hunter? They shot that movie here. You know, matter of fact, they didn't shoot that. We have us in Ohio and Pennsylvania. You know, we have deer. I mean, we got so many deer that they had to have people come out just to kill a deer for us, because we got too many deer. And I live in the city, and I had deer in my yard more than once. I got them on camera one time. I done had them about 5-6 times. There's nothing to be driving up East Cleveland. Nothing to be driving to East Cleveland and see deer running across the road. You know, South Taylor Road, deer. You know, you got to watch, because they don't travel in one. It's usually 3 or 4 of them. You know, you don't see just one deer. You know, you see a mama, papa, and 2 little ones usually. And they're just riding across the road like nothing happened. They're in the middle of the city. Yeah, you say mad cow disease. You know what? I heard somewhere over in Africa that they're having that with the cows and the pigs again. We have plenty of wild hogs to eat. Yeah, you better watch out for them wild hogs, man. Them boars, man. They don't become real aggressive. Real aggressive. I think I did a video and mentioned that a couple of months ago. So you gotta be very careful, but to get you a 45 or 50 cow to go take them things out, because they get real aggressive. They start attacking people. You know, what they call them, razorbacks, feral hogs. This is like unstable nuclear atomic. Oh, that's interesting. But So anyway, like I said, I've really been talking too long. I don't usually talk this long, and I really didn't actually get into the movies like I wanted to. But I'm gonna just say, if you haven't had a chance to see some of these movies or TV series, you need to check them out. But everybody probably seen the Mad Max series, all of them. They're very interesting in the 28 Days. Uh, but if you haven't seen the Domestic, you need to see the Domestic. I think that's one of the better movies I've seen in a while. Or the Blackouts, either one, they're all good. Both Blackout movies are very good. It teaches you a lot about the human uh, mindset. And let's see what else. The Road, like I said, the Road was okay, but like I said, it was some things in there that I couldn't get into. It was a very sad movie for me. I didn't like the way it ended. I thought that they should have stayed in that bunker full of food. I would have, but hey, that's a whole other thing. And I'm a Walking Dead fan, so I watch all the Walking Dead shows, like a new one with the kids. I watch it, but I really haven't gotten into it because they should have been dead a long time ago. But anyway, that's a whole other story. Let's see what else. Oh, and everybody, I think that's Yellowstone, not Jellystone this time. Yellowstone blowing up. You know how that is. And if that do happen, well, like I say, that's an extinction type of event, and the only way you're gonna make it if you got it in with God. You got your back, because if you ain't got your back and something like that, you're gonna really be in trouble, because that's an extinction type of event, and when that stuff happens, cannibal things spoken of in the Bible. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the Bible. All this is everything is biblical we're going through now. You remember a couple of months ago they had what was that, locusts in Africa? I mean, all over Africa. I'm not just talking about one two little outbreaks. I mean, locusts. They back, and then they have water down in the Amazon River was turning red. It was saying it was from the mud, but the mud is not red. I mean, I don't have no idea. They said it's clay, but there's no clay down there. But anyway, they had. I mean, it's all biblical. Even what we going through now is biblical. I mean, I'm a Baptist. I read the Bible. I believe in God. People laughed at me last time we was talking about ghosts and stuff. But if you read the Bible, ghosts is in the Bible. Yep. You remember back? I'm gonna tell you where you can find one at. You remember right before? I guess it was David. David was about to go fight. He took the wise man to bring back who was that guy that David killed? I can't think of it. Saul and his son. To bring back Saul and his son so he could talk to them before he go into battle. And go talk to the ghosts. And then David had this ring that controls spirits too. So I mean, ghosts is in the Bible. That's why I believe in ghosts. So thing, ghosts and poltergeists and all that other stuff. So basically, what I'm saying is, don't be afraid. You got yourself spiritually prepared for things. You good. You know what I mean? What the Bible say, put on your whole armor of Christ. Yep. And to give you a list of things. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to get into that because then I'm changing this to a whole different subject. But I'm just letting you know that I do believe in that, because I'm like that guy, like that joke I told you guys about with little Jimmy asked about his grandfather going into the room with the Bible every night. And he said, grandmother told me, yeah, he's in there cramming for his finals. That's me. I'm cramming for my finals. Because like I said, I don't know how much time I got left over here, but I'm just trying to make it better for my peoples. Yeah, Ephesians 6. I got that one up. Offhand, Damascus got bombed yesterday. You know what? I heard that, and I heard that what was it? I heard the message got bombed, and I heard that the Australian soldiers killed like 39 civilians and lined them up against the wall and shot them. I don't understand. Basically, they don't tell us the truth. They tell us what we want to hear. So we at the mercy of the information age out here. Basically, what I say. So all I'm saying is, because we got a whole bunch of things to worry about. We got the new international world order. You know, we got the Council of Nine. We got people out there about to take over governments and stuff like that over in Iraq and Iran. There's just so much mess out here, and we right in the middle of all of it. That's the sad part, that we are in the middle of all of it. We're tough. I have no money to eat after spending $50 to get in. I'm good to go. Wow. Yeah, but you know what? They got to make their money somehow. See, here, if you come to Cleveland, you were visiting, let's say you downtown, you're going to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and stuff like that. Then you want to go over to like on 4th Street where we got the restaurants and the bars, a lot of stuff like that. They actually built tents that look like greenhouses, outside, so you could sit in there and eat outside the restaurant on the street. You know, they built this outside. It's just crazy. How about a drive-through? Yeah, you go to drive-throughs, you know, they got McDonald's and Burger King all out here. Or just call Uber. Tell them, hey, I'm over here on this corner of East 12th Street. Come in, could you drop off something for me? Okay, I'm the guy with the green jacket on and the Celtics hat. Yeah. But you know what, Dave, I'm going to tell you something about this. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to tell you something about this. It's too late. It doesn't really matter what the individual think anymore when it comes to that. It really doesn't matter, because now they got the home kit that they finna start distributing. You see what I'm saying? The only thing you can control right now is whether or not you want to get that shot. That right now, note I say right now. But before, they're gonna make it like when I was in school. And I don't know how many people remember when you had to go to school, you had to get your shots. Because I hate needles to this day. You had to get your shots. So you just get that shot, that stuff like that. That's where we at today. That's where we at. Before your kid is allowed to go to school, you watch. Before your kid is allowed to go to school, you will get that shot. And then after they get that in you, they're going to say, that didn't work out too bad. Then they're going to start putting those chips in you, so we can find you and you can do your money banking and all that stuff. You know that chip is coming. Some people say it was going to be like a barcode across the top of your hand, maybe, or a chip in the palm of your hand. I don't know, but it's coming. That's the electronic age, because right now they don't want to make paper money. Oh, here we go with the buffer stuff. But you know what? I'm gonna get in the drift, and I'm gonna let you go, because see, I think the power that bees want to take me off of here, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm gonna go. Let's see. I won't even take a home test. I might put inside. You're right. I'm with you. I'm 100% behind you, because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Let's see. Order pizza. Tell them to get the bill to the gray haired guy. My brother is usually outside. Yeah, that's, you know what? Hey, Redfield Bubba. Yeah, you know, I don't mean to laugh, but we did that before. We went to, I don't know how many people remember White Castle. We went to White Castle, all right? We White Castle hamburgers were like 25 cents. This is back in the day. And so we were on a date. You know, we went to the movies. We caught the bus down there, went to the movies. Me and my buddy, the girls we were with, we went to White Castle to get something to eat. 25-cent burger. We didn't know about taxes back then. We didn't know it was tax on pop. So we got our food and everything, and they handed it to us, and we told the guy that guy over there, he's with us. He's gonna pay. The guy didn't know no better, because he was younger back in the days. So we walked out the door with the food. Soon we hit that door, we took off running. And that guy had to pay. It was funny, but we didn't know, because we spent more than what we had, and we didn't do that. We were able to catch the bus home, so we did what we had to do. Hey, Lori's World. That's what I was talking about earlier, the smallpox vaccination. I remember when I think about it, they must have thought I was a horse. Hey, know what you give a horse? little cube of sugar. Did you get the sugar? Sugar cube? Well, I got the sugar cube. But then they started giving people suckers, but I got the sugar cube. You remember Crystal Burger sales were you got 10 burgers for $1. You know, that's down in Tennessee. They got a Crystal restaurant down there. I've seen it. Because that's my daughter's name. I named her Crystal. Lit fire red, evil spirits from God came forth from boom. Son. He said in his house when I gave him the glory. Yep, spirits. Yep, because they're out there, and the Bible says so. So I believe it. Yeah, yep, in Tennessee. Okay, yeah. Because I was down. Like I said, I've been to Tennessee quite a few times. I was over. Matter of fact, I was over there, and that's pretty close to where it's at. Lori just got back from the doctor. Wow. I-65 and the tornado came about maybe half a mile away because you could see it. I was going to I-65 and they was on the radio. They was talking about the tornadoes coming. You got to get. I was pretty close to Nashville. They say you got to pull off the road or find cover and something like that. I didn't pull off. I just speed it up. Say I'll run it, and it was crazy. That's the first time I've ever seen a tornado like that. White Castle, yep. I love White Castle too, but they don't have it here anymore. They closed every last one of the White Castles. This is before they had this virus thing, though. It was a money situation here because they had merged it with a chicken, Church's Chicken. They had merged it with Church's Chicken, and they closed up eventually. Let's see, what did you have to say? Nashville, in the countryside. Yeah, that's where I was at, down in Nashville. My daughter went to school at Fisk University. Yeah, so I was down there. And plus I got people in Nashville and I got people in Shelbyville and I got people in Memphis now. But I got a lot of my family originally from Tennessee. Yes, I got people down there. I haven't been down in a while, though. It's been about maybe 12, 13 years. Oh, yes, a tornado shook the crap out of our warehouse. Okay. So, yeah, like I say, I love to travel. I mean, before my knees and hips got bad, and now if I drive more than 2 hours, I'm in pain. But I can still drive. I mean, I drive an hour, so it's okay. If I start hitting that 2 hour mark, I'm like, woo. When I get out the car, I'm like, man, I don't know if you like that, but a lot of people when they get old, they have that problem when you do a lot of traveling. So that's why I say now I'm thinking about the ways of taking a train. You know, I don't mind flying on a plane with. Man, 20. You know, I can't wait. I can't really wait to see what the history books are going to say about 2020. I mean, right now we live in history. I mean, if you got grandkids or grandnephews and nieces, and they're going to look at you and they're going to ask you, what did you do? How did you react? What was going on? You can tell them because you lived it. You can tell them the truth. You know what I mean? Perfect example is my father was born in 1911. He's not here right now. He's dead, you know. He was born in 1911. So he lived to ask him stuff, and I used to talk to him, stuff like that. And then same thing with World War II. I used to ask him stuff because he lived through World War II, him and my mother. So I would ask people that was there. A lot of my wannabe rapper nephews asked me about the 70s and 80s, you know, about rap music in the 70s, 80s. I tell them they need to stop trying to rap and get a job. But that's a whole other story. But I mean, that's how you find out things. You ask people that was there. That's what makes, I'm going to say old people, but that what makes senior citizens so special to the world. We have firsthand knowledge of what went on and what we actually seen. So we could actually tell them the truth. I mean, but every place is not the same. You know, every place is not the same. Love talking World War II. Yes. And American Legion. Yeah, because they can tell you a lot. It's not a lot of one guy. When I first started delivering mail back in the 80s, and that's like 40 years after the war. And I would talk to him, and he would tell me some horror stories. He would tell me the story because he was in Corregidor. He was a Marine, and the Japanese cut off his leg and ate it. I'm serious. This is what he told me. He said they went on that death march. He survived that death march. They took him all to wherever they go. They got in the camp, and they said that these Japanese soldiers came in there and they cut off his leg. And they cut off his leg, and they actually ate his leg. And I was like amazed. I was amazed because when I met him, he was on crutches. He was a nice guy, and that made me think what the horrors that people could do, that men could do. People will actually eat other people. There's a lot of people out there that's right now, they don't worry about putting away stuff. They don't worry about prepping. They don't worry about nothing because they think they can go to the store. You cannot go to the store. Right now, you can go to the store because, like I say, this is at the beginning of the shit, the fan. But let that financial collapse happen along with this. You won't be able to go outside because people are not going to be getting paid. Police is not going to be getting paid. They talking that crazy defund and stuff. I mean, you ain't going to have no protection. And people going to be out there right now. We're in a food shortage. I keep telling people we're in a food shortage. People keep telling me we not. But I know we're in a food shortage because I haven't been out to the stores, but I sent my wife to the stores and I see some of the prices that comes back on these cans and stuff like that. They're crazy. So you got to be, I'm just telling you, start stacking your stuff. Keep your stuff. Buy some ammo. How you doing? Yeah, so you better get your prepper together. I mean, that's the whole thing about my channel. You can always hear me talking prepper. You always got to have everything. And right now, I'm saying if you got food and water, I don't know how much that might not be enough because, like I say, when they come, it might just be just some strangers, 4 or 5 strangers, and they just happen to be out in your area. You might not have enough ammo to fend them off. They might not even have a gun. They might have a pitchfork or a machete or a knife. It's like that one movie, Blackout. The one Blackout when the guy and his wife went and they was living in their old uncle's house. He had passed away, left in the house, and she was pregnant, and they were living in the house, and these people came. These prisoners of escape came, and they were trying to take whatever they had in that house. But all they had was shotguns, which did the job. But I'm just saying, you need something because you never know what might happen. And before that, some college kids that broke in the house and stole some stuff, but they were preppers. I mean, they had a pantry and stuff. So I'm just saying, you never know. You had 2 types of people in that movie. You had some people that was on their way on a road trip, and the car broke down because it was like an EMP type thing. It knocked the power out of that. And this blackout, because like I said, it's 2 blackouts. In this blackout, when the EMP knocked out the power, their car wouldn't run, so they had to walk. And they're not familiar with the area, so they walking. And then you had the prisoners that escaped because the prison transport truck broke down, and they overpowered the guard, and they killed them, and they went on ahead and on a merry way, robbing and killing. So like I said, you had 2 kinds of group. You had group that was just hungry, don't want to do you no harm. You had group they just want to take everything. So that's what I'm saying. So you never know about people when stuff happens out there. Hey, I'm glad you're back. So anyway, in the other blackout movie, the regular blackout movie, you had people just trying to get out of town. And I think they didn't know why they were trying to get out of town. And before you know it, they got out of town, power came back on, and they had to go back. So I don't know. You never know. And then you never know when to leave. You never really know when to leave. And then once you get to a certain point where you're getting way up there, like in movies like Mad Max and Defiance and Fallen Skies, where everything is just basically if you ain't part of a movement or a gang, you ain't gonna make it by yourself because those movies are like, jeez, you got to be somewhere with a bunch of people in order to survive. Because once you get out there in the wasteland, I think what they call it in the Mad Max movie, the very first one, the wastelands, you are dead meat to the gangs. And gangs will be taking over. Gangs and militia are gonna be taking over. They all like in I guess it was Revolution. You had militias that actually formed with other militias that became so big that they were running parts of the country. You had like 3 different sections of the country. It was like they said, what was it, the Hunger Games. Yeah. Well, you'll have different sections of different countries. America will never be the same once that stuff happened. Hopefully it never happened in my lifetime. The Blackout movie in 2019, the Japanese one. Yeah, so it's interesting, like I say, it's all kinds of movies. It's all kinds of movies out there. And like I say, I really enjoy them. Like I say, that's what I've been watching a lot of movies. I've been watching Netflix, and I've been watching a lot of movies right there. But like I say, right now, I'm more worried about the weather, and everybody should be worried about the weather because the weather I'm gonna tell you, 2020 ain't over. And it's gonna get worse because of the weather. You see what I'm saying? Right now, we've been having a lot of wind. A lot of wind. It did a lot of damage up here, knocked down a couple of trees down that way on my street. But getting a lot of wind damage. A lot of wind. And the sun's gonna be in the dark, and they're gonna be out here in freezing weather without no heat, and that's gonna make a big difference. And if you live out in the Dakotas and stuff like that, and around Montana, you know how cold could be when you start getting around sub-zero weather. Look at Minnesota; they got hit early, and they still haven't quite recovered from all that bad weather. And just like when you get all these hurricanes, we still getting hurricanes coming up through the south, through Florida and the Caribbean and stuff like that. That's just wild. And now they're hitting around Honduras and all that stuff. I mean, but weather's going to be a game changer. And then once the weather start really messing with you, because we have no help from the federal government, I'm just telling you, FEMA just sitting back. Since they tried to do something at the beginning of all this stuff, they just disappeared off the face of the earth. They need to reorganize that shit. But that's another story. Because we got no help coming from the federal government. Our Congress sucks. They didn't give under. You know what I mean? I think, man, that's bad. I know some restaurants that went under. But I'm just saying, it's just stuff out here in the big city that you haven't seen. That if you're on a homestead in a small city, you might go into town one day and your favorite donut shop is closed or something. I don't know. It's just crazy. He say, wait a minute. People were fighting for food and water. It's horrific. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like okay, I was just reading some comments. But anyway, I'm not gonna stay too much longer because like I say, it's getting bad out here. And like I say, the weather. So if you're not prepared, like I think I did my last live, I talked about the stuff that you needed, that you had to have, and I don't know how long that you will be without power. We had 90,000 people last week when that storm came through that didn't have any power. 90,000. I mean, that may not seem like a lot to you, but I mean, we have a city of 389,000 here. That's almost a quarter of the city. I mean, but it was scattered all out. You may have had 3,000 here, 4,000 there. You might have had some out in Lake County, but that's 90,000 people that without power. And I don't know how many of them were prepared. I mean, my power went out for about 15 minutes, but I'm not worried about that. I don't even plug my stuff up until if it's out at least a half an hour. Once it hit the half an hour mark, I'm plugging stuff up because usually if my power go out here, it's not out that longer than a half an hour. If it's out longer than a half an hour, though, it's gonna be out for a while. Let's see. remember that we had people up here from Louisiana when from New Orleans when that happened. I've been to New Orleans, and you know, if you ever watch the videos and the movies, I mean the TV, real videos from the news feed, you see that hotel right next to the Superdome that's all tore up and ripped up. I stayed in that hotel when I was down there. The last time I was down there, stayed right next to the Superdome, that hotel, and all the hotel is ripped up. The whole side of it gone down there. It is gone, you know. And let's say then the Superdome been tore down, so it was a whole bunch of stuff that happened. There's stuff that was down there when I went down there. It's not there anymore. But I tell you, I did have a good time down there, though. Man, the food, man. That's when I used to do a lot of traveling. I was down there for a music festival, jazz festival. But anyway, I'm drifting again. Let's see. Yeah, so hopefully we won't have any more of those Katrina type situations here in America, but you know it's coming. You know, what's your favorite channel to watch? You mean just for movies or just to watch in general? But they have a lot of stuff, you know. They do a lot of stuff. I would say just the sci-fi channel. I would like the sci-fi channel too. That's a good channel. See, Al got a new video out. Check his video out on Phase 5. Al's been right on the buddy so far with his videos. If you know who I'm talking about, I'm talking about Die Bull Frog 79. You need to definitely watch his videos. Okay. Let's see. They say, Lord, this typing is bad. Yeah, watch YouTube represent if they watching and have your favorite. Oh yeah. But like I said, I like to watch TV when I get a chance. I don't watch it as much as I used to because see right now there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it seems like I can't really stand commercials anymore. You know what I mean? I can't really stand commercials anymore. So during political times, I try not to watch any regular TV. I cut it on, you know, maybe the Disney Channel or something like that, because I do have the Disney Channel. And if you got the Disney Channel, you know, you got all that Marvel superhero stuff in there too. So I watch some of that, or I will watch something I recorded. Like I said, I watch the Heroes Channel. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, the Heroes Channel, they have a lot of stuff on there. So basically, it's the military channel, and they have a lot of old World War II footage, and then they have a lot of conspiracy theory stuff on there too. I wouldn't go say conspiracy theory. They would have like the best assassins of back in the past days or whatever. Anyway, it's a good channel. Let's see. I watch commercial and can't remember what I watch on TV. Yeah, that's because of the AI. They feed your brain with certain things, so you got to be careful. And like I say, anyway, when you get to this point where we finna hit this financial thing, and I'm gonna tell you when it's gonna happen. I might not be right, but I'm gonna just say it's gonna hit us in January. This financial situation is gonna go bam, just like that, and it don't take long. Like I was telling people, on all my last 3 or 4 videos that we were under cyber attacks, and people didn't believe me, and we're under cyber attacks. Something terrible. People would just brush it off because we have no defense. I mean, they're getting through. They might not get through a big time situation, but they're getting through. That's all it takes for them to hit the right button at the right time to knock out part of a grid or part of our communication system. But it's happening. So, like I said, so when this financial thing do happen, and I said this in my last video when I was talking about stuff that you needed for the winter, you're gonna need gold, silver, or barter items. Like I say, don't do ammo unless you absolutely have to save a life, because you'll get that back in a way you wouldn't want it. So, like I say, be ready for that because it's coming. Make sure you got all you need, because I don't know how they will fix that. I mean, when they say we're not gonna print any more money, we're gonna issue you these cards, or they're gonna issue you these little swipe things. I have no idea, but it's coming. It's coming. And we're gonna be right there in the middle of a whole new way of living. And that's what's coming. Because right now, if you see, when I grew up in the 20th century. And right now we're in the 21st century. It's like somebody who grew up in the 19th century moved over to the 20th century. See, right now this is the 21st century, and a lot of people that's in charge thinking that we should be well ahead of where we are right now. That's why they're getting all these people going up into space. And every time they shoot one of these spaceships up there and they poke a hole in our ozone layer, our climate changes. Our climate change something terrible. Every time they poke a hole, it's like, I can explain this. It's like poking a hole in a pie. You know, it's gonna lift the heat out. Eventually, it's gonna seal back up, but that heat that's already out is already out. Same thing with our ozone layer. It protects us from all these solar rays, but they send enough up there to the space station and to where we're going. Eventually, them holes are not gonna heal, and then that solar energy. Those of you that big EMP proponents that said it's coming, you might be right, but it ain't gonna be coming the way you think. It's gonna be coming from solar flares. If we get solar flares, you know, if you live out in the desert, you know how hot that sun can get. That hot sun can fry you. It can roast you. It can give you that scarlet fever or desert fever too. You know, that's how hot the sun can get. Can you imagine if we didn't have that ozone layer up there? You talking about an increase of maybe 50, 60 degrees in some places. So that's what will happen if they keep poking holes in this ozone layer, and then they have a certain sun flare that happened around the same time. It can knock out a whole bunch of stuff, and then we really in trouble. I mean, we would get the stuff fixed, but when it'll be a whole other thing. But we be vulnerable to anything at that point. We'll be vulnerable for anything. Okay, I'm about to go. I'm about to leave you guys. I'm about to take off. You know, this would be a desert. You're right. You know, because like I say, yeah. Pepper Trap said Walking Dead turned into 60% commercials. Yes, it has. I mean, I record it. I don't watch them live anymore. I record them so I can speed through the commercial. That's what I do. I watch them on Sundays. I just record them and then I watch them on another day so I don't have to deal with the commercials. Yeah, and it said that it will be a desert earth. If we get to that point where things like that is going to happen, so I just drifted off on a whole new subject. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Like I say, if you get a chance, watch a few apocalyptic movies and put yourself in them guys' places. You know, maybe not in zombie land or something like that, because I don't want you guys to be Bill Murray. But I'm just saying, put yourself in them guys' places and think what you would do and where you would go. You know, if you had a group, because there's a lot of apocalyptic movies out there, and I just mentioned a few in the apocalyptic TV shows, and you know, I didn't even mention the colony killed by another actor in the movie. You know, accidentally. You know, that was a pretty good show. So anyway, I will see everybody later. Thank you, YouTube. You can stop buffering now. I'm finna go, YouTube.